Morning! Welcome to my sewing vlog. I am hoping to start a little, maybe weekly, we'll see how it goes, little sewing vlog as I am trying to get back into sewing. I'm a professional sewer by trade. Excuse my frizzy hair. I cycled when it was still damp this morning, it might have been a mistake. So I'm a professional sewer by trade, and I think that like many people who turned their hobby into their job, I kind of lost the love of it, and I definitely have stopped doing it for myself. And I want to change that. I want to get back into it for the joy of it. And I love teaching as well, and I love sharing tips and tricks, and I love learning, and I would love to hear your tips and tricks as well as I take you along this process. So yeah, welcome, enjoy. So the first project I want to make is going to be using this cute gingham fabric to create a little wrap top. Not a wrap top, a little tie top. Slightly annoyingly is the fact that I do actually have a wrap top design. It's my own design and that I've made, but I did the thing where I drafted the pattern directly onto the fabric rather than did a paper copy, and the top that I made is in my loft. So I have to start from scratch. But still, that'll be nice. So what I'm thinking so far is to do a little boat neck tie-up top. I was initially thinking of doing a bodice, but coming into autumn winter, not sure if I really want like a nice little crop style. This is very much something I've made before. I think a little boat neck will be really sweet and a slightly more modern silhouette for the tie-up top. So that's what I'm thinking. I've got this really simple little vest, button-up vest that you do. I'm thinking if I simply square off from the top of the shoulder seam down the centre front, I know that will usually make a cow neck, so that's when it like folds at the front, which I don't want. If I square it off, mock it up, and by mock it up I mean doing it in this fabric, because we're just going to do it and we're going to drape it, and then whilst it's on the dress form or even on myself, I'll just go in and draft where I'd want the boat neck to be. That is my plan so far. I just got into the studio and I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to work on this today, but I thought I would talk through a little bit about where I got up to yesterday. So obviously popped in the little boat neck at the top. It's quite dramatic now. Obviously this has seam allowance, so it will be slightly wider. She is French seamed throughout. I decided to stay with Stitch Her because I knew I was going to be handling her quite a bit as I was kind of making the design up as I'm going along. I know she looks a little funny on the stand, but obviously mannequins are slightly weird shapes. So also one thing I hadn't talked about yesterday is obviously I had squared up from the centre front seam, and our bodies are not rectangles. So if you think about, excuse me, our figures, obviously we are triangle at the front, so there'll be, if you square it from the centre front, you're going to have some extra fabric here, which is why this is now a triangle shape, because I wanted it to be quite a neat fit across the front, so when I'm actually wearing it, it will pull in like so and be flat. So yeah, next steps are the ties, the facings. At the moment I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing a face neckline, bias bound armholes, just a sort of non-stitched down plackets. There's no extraneous stitching down the front. I think I'm going to be cropping this more and doing quite a thick hem, because I quite like a weighty hem, especially when something's so simple. Having that slightly dramatic hem at the bottom and the weight makes it hang really nicely. So that's where we're at so far. We'll see. The thing happened where my bobbin has run out. I'm just so close to the end. So I decided to face, rather than use binding or anything, on the armholes. And I was a little lazy and just turned them under. Everything's faced though. I think it'll be fine. I don't think it will fray too much. It's quite protected and yeah. So excuse how wrinkly she is. I decided that I'm gonna fully face the armholes, the neck, and the centre front of the top. So because of that, I am gonna have to undo these little shoulder seams that I did. And also, I have also decided to insert the little ties between the facing and the shell of the top. Basically, I just want to keep the garment looking quite clean and simple, I think, because it's quite a cutesy fabric. If I can sort of elevate that a little bit in the design, that's what I want to do. So yeah, I think because the facing a strappy top is quite a weird technique, I might run you through that. I thought that might be a little helpful, interesting thing for you, so yeah. One thing I thought might be worth mentioning quickly is that when you press anything, it's worth just letting it rest until it's cooled, because the fibres have swelled with the steam and then contracted as they've cooled. They just will sit beautifully and they'll be a lot more easy to work with and just have a nice professional crispness as well. I'm just trying it on, working out where the waist ties are gonna go. So we want one here. You always want one in the centre of the bust, or sort of centre-ish of the bust, because that's often where it gapes. One quite high up. It's annoying because the gap's quite big if I have the neckline this high. And also what I've realised is, you can see I quite like the length. I was planning on cropping it more, but I like the length, and unfortunately I've made the facing quite a lot shorter because I was planning on cropping it. But I don't know, I kind of like where it's cutting across. I think it's quite nice. So yeah, I think the ties I'm happy with, but I think I'm going to keep the length. Yeah, that's the process. Also, I feel like I probably will end up not doing this tie up too much, but I definitely need that one here and that one here. But this one can just be one open because it's nice just having a little peek of skin. So I unpicked the shoulder seams, and now I'm just laying the facing on top of the shell, right sides together. And when I say right sides, and when people refer to right sides, generally speaking, that always means the side that you actually see of the garment. So next step is just going to be to pin these in place. So I'm going to be sewing to about maybe 7 centimeters away from the shoulder seam. So I'm just going to pin in place, popping the final pin about 7 centimeters away. So I've got a little visual aid to remind me to stop sewing, because it's so easy to just sew to the end. And it will become clear why I'm doing that in a bit. All right, so I've gone in and sewn them, left a nice gap, trim these down. This actually should be a bit more accurate, I'll trim that, but they should be trimmed so that this is all lining up nicely. Fabric does move, so if that happens a little bit, don't worry about it. When you're sewing something, fabric does move even if you stay stitch it, it just happens. So on the more dramatic curves I have done triangle notches, and on the smoother curves I've just trimmed it down. I would eventually be understitching all of this to give it a neat, nice finish, but this is enough for now. So I'll go in and trim these little extra bits off here, and then I'll show you the method for joining the shoulder seams. Okay, so we have front shoulder seam, back shoulder seam. And we're going to take the back shoulder seam, turn it so it is the right way out now. All right, and then I'm matching the front panel to the back panel, right sides together, and then taking this little top of the strap and inserting it into the front strap. And the way to just check is you've got the non-faced shell fabric that's going to join together. There, and then the facing or lining fabric that's going to join together there. All right. Okay, so I sewed this where it was pinned, and now I'm just going to put it through to the right side so you can see. So I haven't ironed it yet, but you can see a bit more clearly. They have the shoulder seam here, this is your arm sky, this is the neckline. So now we just need to go in and sew up these holes. Right. And then once that's done, you should hopefully be able to pull it through. And then you have your little sleeve head done. Alright, I'll show you again once she's laying flat on the table, one sec.